Hi BookTube. I was tagged in the Mispronounced Authors tag, and I came up with 4 commonly mispronounced authors' names. 2 of them that I myself was guilty of pronouncing incorrectly in the past, and 2 that I've noticed mispronounced on a semi-frequent basis. So the ones I'm guilty of pronouncing: Somerset Mom and Isabel Allende. 2 that I've mispronounced here on my channel in the past when I first started reading them. And as goes the way of the internet, I was told multiple times and quite severely how badly I had butchered those names, and I corrected myself. Somerset Mom. It's kind of a weird spelling. It's, Maugham. And so you see that and you wouldn't think it's pronounced, mom. You would think, oh, it's Moham or Maugham or something like that. But no, it is in fact Mom. And then, of course, Isabel Allende is a name of Spanish origin, I believe. And so there's 2 L's in there. It's spelled Allende. Those 2 L's are sort of silent, but not entirely, because there does seem to be another sound in there. It's almost as though the L's become a Y of sorts, which is interesting. So those are 2 that I've mispronounced myself in the past. And then one that I've noticed mispronounced now and then is Simone De Beauvoir. And Beauvoir is, of course, a French last name. I think it's relatively easy for me because when I first saw the name, I saw, 2 distinct French words there, beau and voir. And beau, of course, is the French masculine for beautiful or good. It's the masculine version of the word belle. And so beau, I pronounce beau as the word beau. And then voir, which reminds me a bit of the verb avoir, and so Beauvoir, rolls off the tongue quite nicely when you have a bit of a knowledge of French. And I've heard her last name pronounced as Beauvoir, Bouvier, and various variations of that. But my assumption was always that it was Beauvoir, given the structure of the last name. And I think, everything I've seen from French people themselves pronouncing the last name on the internet, I think I've got it correct, and I will continue to use the pronunciation of Simone de Beauvoir. And who knows, it could be differences in dialect, it could be the pronunciation that was initially used when de Beauvoir's works were translated into English. I don't know, but to me, it is Beauvoir. And then the 4th one I have in mind is an author, but also a former professor. And they're an author because they published one of the most well-known textbooks on Canadian politics. And I'm forgetting the title right now. But it's a well-known kind of staple textbook for Canadian politics. And the number of students who would get flustered or try to pronounce his last name a little differently just because of some of the connotations and the politics surrounding his last name was astounding and a little bit funny. So the author's name was RandDyke, spelt D-Y-K-E. Dyke is, of course, a semi-well-known last name in the English language. There was a famous actor with that last name. In fact, I think the famous actor is still alive. Dick Van Dyke is still alive. But the number of people who would, take a look at RandDyke's name on the textbook or on the course syllabus and kind of pause and refer to him as RandDyke was kind of astounding. But of course his last name was Dyke. And of course that is associated with a slur these days, but it is still a fairly common last name. So those are my mispronounced authors.